Okay, so after having a rather decent night's sleep, I'm ready to get into today. Specifically to talk about probably the greatest group finale I've seen on The Masked Singer. Happy Thursday, everybody. Let's get to my low and my high and act of kindness. My low, I would say, is my mom is still sick. And again, it's the flu. But thankfully, she is on the mend. However, everyone is so worried that both my father and I are taking Tamiflu. I took my first pill yesterday. So I'll be taking another pill today. Because I'm not gonna lie, that was actually, yesterday was my first time ever hearing the word Tamiflu. I mean, I've heard of Theraflu, like that one sort of like powder you pour hot water on that and you drink it kind of like a tea. I know Theraflu, but Tamiflu? Did not know. Let's see, what was my high was last night's episode of The Masked Singer. And my act of kindness was bringing in the garbage for my mom and dad. And, brought the garbage for my parents. Oh, I also helped make dinner too. Oh, I say help make dinner. My mom made chili. And, here's the thing, Texas people, I'm sorry for you to hear this, but my mom puts beans in her chili. Yeah, I know. Listen. At least beans are good for you, I suppose. But yeah, I'm definitely more of a Texas way of thinking. I'm a Cowboys fan. Of course, I should prefer no beans and chili. But in terms of what I did to help make dinner, you can't have chili without, cheese and, the onion you sprinkle on top. So, I grated the cheese and chopped the onion. It was actually really good to have chili. It's been a long time since my mom made chili. It might actually be more than a year since my mom made it. I know for a fact it's been more than a year since my mom made zucchini bread. So, holy cow, I just realized. I've told this story before, but the last time my mom made zucchini bread was in 2022. Before that, the last time she made it was 2017. Quite literally 5 years. And I remember posting about it, and I said, hopefully it won't be another 5 years until my mom makes it. It's already been almost 3. So, as long as she makes it within the next 6 months, technically it still won't be bad, but still, rather not wait that. Honestly, my mom makes zucchini bread. It feels like less than when I go to Trinity Polling. And I go back to Trinity Polling every 5 years, even though I keep telling myself I'm not going to wait 5 years to go back. So, I guess with that, I might as well get into last night's episode of The Masked Singer, which was last night was Rat Pack night. So stuff like Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., I guess the 30. Actually, when was the Rat Pack era? Yeah, so Joey Bishop, Angie Dickinson, Peter Lawford, okay, so in the 50s. This is more like 1950s music. Okay. Because here's the thing, I'm trying to think, like, when was The Godfather made? Because if you don't know, Frank Sinatra is in The Godfather. And that movie was made in, like, the mid to late 70s, I believe. Actually, no, when was The Godfather made? Uh, 1972. Okay, so, sorry, early 70s. My apologies. So, yeah. Okay. Trying to work in the timing of everything. So, the Masked Singer did Rat Pack night. And before I get into this, I want to make one thing clear. I said earlier that this is probably the greatest group finale we've ever had. I'm not kidding. Like, here's what's even crazier, because the last couple seasons they've had a Group A finale and 2 people wind up getting eliminated. No, we're not doing that. In fact, we're actually going back to kind of the original format of how the show began, where you get down to the final 6 and those 6 singers work it like the regular show and you keep going until someone's eliminated. Which, I mean, every season, The Masked Singer always does something different with its format to some capacity. Whether it is having theme nights or having a giant final clue before that celebrity gets unmasked. So, with last night, sorry, I lost where I was going with that. I am sorry. I really didn't. Here's the thing. I said it was a good night's sleep. It was the kind of sleep where, yeah, I did get some sleep. Not a lot. But surprisingly, I don't feel tired. Yet. I don't feel tired. Yet. That's the key word. So, in the beginning of the episode, obviously it's Rat Pack night. I mentioned Frank Sinatra. You need to start with the Frank Sinatra song, and Robin Thicke did Fly Me to the Moon by Frank Sinatra, which my first experience with that song is actually in 7th grade choir. Yeah, I actually just made, at Horseheads Middle School was select choir, and I made that. And Fly Me to the Moon was actually one of the songs that we did. And it was a lot of fun. It was really, really cool. Let's see. Speaking of Frank Sinatra, Cornwall kept it up with Luck Be a Lady by Frank Sinatra, which, fun fact, my experience with Luck Be a Lady also came from, doing school plays and choir. Specifically, my freshman year of high school, Horseheads did a production of Guys and Dolls. Yeah. It was weird. Like, originally I was supposed to be like one of the gangsters, but then they put me I had like 2, why am I blanking on the word? 2 roles. One in like the mission band, and then like later as like a gangster, and I was singing the song Luck Be a Lady, which is a lot of fun. Honestly, like, Guys and Dolls will be one of my all-time favorite like shows for me. Not only because as someone who actually performed in high school, technically I lived it. Even though again it's a high school performance, so you're gonna cut a lot of stuff out to save time and everything. But more importantly, I actually finally did see Guys and Dolls on Broadway when I was at Trinity Pauling. And let me tell you, if you have an opportunity to see that show, do it. I really think that's one of those shows. Honestly, I think Guys and Dolls is an underrated gem. I really think so. Anyway, Coral blew it right out of the water. No pun intended. She was great. You know, Luck Be Lady by Frank Sinatra, nigh flawless. I struggle to think of anything that was wrong with it. The Ant did Fever by Peggy Lee, who absolutely crushed it. I mean, my God. Like, after Coral and Ant went up, I'm like, okay, Paparazzo, I know you're good, but I'm thinking it's fun. And that's when Paparazzo does That's Amore by Dean Martin. You know the song. When your mood hits the I like a big pizza pie, that's amore. Like, and that performance was good. I didn't expect Paparazzo to be the one to win automatically. I'm like, what? How? So, here's the thing. To all three of the singers' credit, actually to last night's episode's credit, they really did a great job honoring the Rat Pack. It's just the vast majority of the songs that were sung were by Frank Sinatra. You know, you mentioned that Robin Thicke did Flying to the Moon, Coral did Luck Be Lady. So for the Battle Royale, Ant and Coral did My Way by Frank Sinatra. Which, I mean, if you're gonna have a Battle Royale featuring a song from the Rat Pack, sure, why not? I mean, I would say, and I love that song. My Way is probably the song I would do if I was in like a singing contest that went on like multiple rounds and I needed something to really show off my range. Because, for those of you who don't know, I am a tenor. Basically, we're the higher male voices. My Way really would be the perfect song for me in terms of showing that I am capable of hitting those lower notes. I mean, it's been years since I've ever actually tested what my range is, and that was well before I hit puberty, so Lord knows what my range is now. I would still think it's more versatile than most guys, but unless there's like a music teacher that could really, or really any pianist that could, you know, test that out at this moment in time, I don't know. So with that said, Ant and Coral did My Way by Frank Sinatra, and sadly somebody had to be eliminated. And when Ant went up first, and keep in mind, going into this episode, I would have flat out told you Coral was the front runner. Not for this group, but probably for this entire season so far. Yeah, before Group B and C go on, I really had Coral winning this whole thing. When Ant started singing My Way, I really thought, oh, Coral, you gotta make something happen here. Because Ant was like big and booming and like powerful from the very beginning, and she was consistent. Coral, on the other hand, did the opposite approach. She started out small, going for subtlety, which, as we all know, there is power in subtlety. And it just kept building and building and building until it got to the very end, and yeah, now I remember why Coral was the front runner for this whole season. And that's why Coral wound up being safe, and the Ant wound up getting eliminated. All three performers last night were, you know, it's as Robin Thicke said, this was the most evenly matched final that we've ever had. Like, on a different day, I could totally see the scenario playing out completely differently. In fact, honestly, last night I saw that I really predicted Coral and Ant would be the ones to move on. And Paparazzo would be unmasked. Boy, was I wrong. But I'm happy I was wrong. But that's just how evenly matched this was. To give you proof of how evenly matched this all was, Ant wound up being Aubrey O'Day. Yeah, that woman is, I'm wide awake, like that song, like that artist. Aubrey O'Day is a phenomenal singer. Like years from now, people are going to say, Aubrey O'Day was the GLOW, okay? She's that good, and she wound up getting eliminated. That should tell you just what we're in for, just from Paparazzo and Coral alone. But yeah, that was last night's episode of The Masked Singer. That was the group of, that was Rat Pack Tribute Night. And it was a lot of fun. Sadly, I wish there was more, but sadly that's not the case. Actually, that reminds me, in a sudden, hold on. Hold on. Okay, seriously, why can't I find... Sorry, because if you've been watching the promotional material for this season, Lucky Duck, that's what his name is. There was this one, clearly a celebrity who's wearing a giant duck costume called Lucky Duck. And before they announced who was getting eliminated, Lucky Duck had one major secret clue for both Coral and Ant. And that was the fact that they both released #1 albums. Yes, Coral and Ant both released #1 albums. And one of them had to get eliminated. Welcome to season 13, folks. So next week we got, what is it? Voices of Olympus. What is Voices of Olympus? Hold on. Oh. Yeah, it doesn't really, all it's just telling me is what Olympic music should sound like. It's not really giving me like names of songs we're expected to hear. I mean, with Rat Pack Tribute Night, we were going to get songs like from Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin. From Shrek Night, we were going to get like Smash Mouth and anything from the Shrek soundtrack, from the Shrek movie soundtracks. What is Voices of Olympus? I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So, I hope you all like this video. If you'd like to subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I'm very home this video. For all of you guys watching, enjoy the video. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Thursday. And remember, if any of you guys want to talk channel, we're here to let you know be back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.